As we have been opening our Masses with the antiphon, we've been incorporating the verses as well of the psalm. And the last verse before the glory be to the Father, ... was really profound. I don't know if you caught that. The essence of it was, God has a plan, and we may have a plan, but if our plan is not God's plan, He's going to destroy our plan so that we can get it out of our mind and be opened up to something much more beautiful. And in light of the Good Shepherd gospel and Jesus and His plan for us, I have to say I struggle to listen to the voice of the shepherd because I'm constantly planning and trying to do things my way. Even if it's not objectively sinful, it's just a self-oriented plan. Maybe you experience this too. Sort of what it means to be an American or a comfortable, suburban resident, whatever, is to want just to be your own boss, to be comfortable. And Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. I know mine, as if to say, I know the plan I have for you, and mine know me. If we are good disciples, we get to know His plan. And we can either put away our intentions, or we can let Him destroy them. It's sort of striking, really, that when I was 19, I had it all planned out. I was going to do this, I was going to marry this person, I was going to be ... Everything seemed so perfect in my plan. And it's obviously not what was A, God wanted, or B, what would have really made me happy. Because that's the problem with plans, is you think if you can somehow control reality or work really hard to make the plan happen, that then you'll be happy. But that's never the case in my experience. Maybe for you it's different. But whenever I do it my way, I'm empty. And maybe others are sort of pushed out of the way in the process. And that's not God's plan. He, the Good Shepherd, wants us to hear His voice. And so there's a lot of ways we could go with this. Very briefly, if I could, I would stay as a priest in Auburn until I die. But the voice of our bishop, Good Shepherd, called me about a month ago, and as you may have heard, said, no, I want you to be the administrator of a parish near Rochester. So there goes the plans I had, and actually God has a very good plan in mind. You're going to get, if you didn't hear it already, in my place, Father Joseph Maurici, who's a deacon now. He's about to be ordained, and he is wonderful. You will not miss me when he arrives. And then the plan that maybe is on our mind locally was all in the paper this week, maybe even on TV too. But there is a process and plan to look at the number of campuses we have and churches and say, is this sustainable? And the headline is very pointed. I really disliked the headline, as if to say it's all been decided, it's all happening now. And that's simply not true. It is true that there is a process. Those people have worked very hard and very respectfully, and they were asked to do so by the bishop and his staff. But it is not decided in full. They have proposed the plan. Maybe on Monday or Tuesday you came and heard that, or you saw it on the internet. If you haven't seen it yet, please, it'll be in the bulletin next week. I'll send you an email tonight. We did send a text today, if you get those. Watch it. Watch how they say, we don't want to close anything, but if we had to, because of resources or because of fewer priests, this is what seems the best. That's the state that they're at right now. The headline may say, well, it's all been decided, this, and this is open, this, and this is gone. But remember the opening antiphon, that when we have a plan, if that's not God's plan, He's going to destroy it. And I mean this with great respect for all those involved in this plan, that we're just doing the best that we can, and it is a responsible and a good model that they have proposed. But now it's time to give healthy and responsible feedback to that plan. If you have been maybe upset with the headlines or the things going on, I hope that you would channel that energy into good feedback, even constructive criticism, to the committee. It would be a sin to gossip, to slander people, to say whoever in charge, whatever, made a mistake or don't know what they're doing. That's the voice of the wolf who's coming to try to snatch us and scatter us. We are called to have concern for the voice of the shepherd. He has started this process. Now he's asking through these committee members for our helpful comments on it. Again, it's okay to disagree, but disagree in a constructive and respectful way. And the worst thing I would say to avoid is this, is giving up. I mean, if you're here, you're at St. Mary's, maybe you feel we've won. We're not on the docket according to this plan, so now we give up. We don't have to try anymore because our church is safe. Or if you maybe are watching this on TV and you feel that your church is not safe, you may say, well, I'm going to give up because if you're going to close my church, I don't care anymore. I'm not going to come anymore. Again, that's the voice of the wolf who's trying to scatter you from the Eucharist just because you're upset. Because you had a plan and God is proposing a different plan. So I would say, let's keep inviting people to Mass. Even if this plan were to be ratified, it doesn't happen overnight. And we would still have many weeks to encounter the Lord and to show him that we do want to live our faith, that we will not be discouraged, that we will open our hearts to his voice and to his plan, wherever he leads. And so then, to practically conclude, this is an entirely different direction. What if you're young and you don't know the voice of the shepherd or you don't know what to do with your life? We're having a retreat coming up. This poster is up in some of our churches. It's going to be in the bulletin, if it's not already. And I'm going to hand out a little tiny card with all this info after to anyone who wants it. If you're older than 18 to 40, which is our target event, it's a retreat, a conference day basically, one day. If you're older than the target audience, you can still invite people to it. Because here's the essence. We want people to know Jesus, the Good Shepherd, to hear his voice, and then to live a life of joy. But we don't often really train people how to listen, how to pray, how to be holy and chaste, so that we don't get maybe mixed up in a lot of hurtful relationships that confuse us and hurt other people as well. So there will be talks by people who have PhDs. There will be priests who have studied in Rome. There will be many guest speakers there. And you can ask them questions in person. You can say, why did you become a priest? Why did you become a consecrated virgin? You can ask people questions like that, and they will tell you how the voice of the shepherd led them there. But the majority of the people who will attend this retreat and the majority of the people here are married or called to the vocation of marriage. And so marriage will be a huge part of this retreat. When we think about God's will on this Vocations Sunday, maybe sometimes we leave marriage out, and that's not going to be the plan of this retreat. It will help you be a better husband if that's your call, or a better wife if that's your call. Let us pray for vocations of all kinds. Let us pray to hear the voice of the shepherd and not be scattered by the wolf or by sin. And let us pray for Auburn.